Archangel Michael says, something strange has been happening. Ever since your voice echoed those powerful words, a soul has not rested. That night became a turning point they never expected, and you were the last voice they heard before everything spiraled. They try to act normal in the daylight, but at night, their mind runs wild. The sentence you spoke has planted itself into their thoughts like a vine wrapping around their heart. The truth you uttered was so sharp, it cut through illusions they were living in. There is a trembling energy around their actions now. They stay awake, holding their phone, hoping you'll text, call, or say something more. But you've gone silent, and that silence has become the loudest noise in their life. Even while laughing with others, they glance at their screen, haunted by what you said. The guilt is soaking through every mask they wear. Sleep has abandoned them, and rest now comes at a cost they cannot pay. Type Amen to get blessing 333. Archangel Michael says, they didn't expect your strength. They underestimated how deeply your words could strike them. They thought you would stay quiet, accept things as they are, but you didn't. What you revealed shattered the illusion. They are now walking through days in a daze, and the nights are far worse. You gave them a mirror, and now they're afraid to look into it. They turn on music to drown the silence, but nothing works. They scroll through old messages, trying to decode how things reached this place. Your voice is no longer heard, yet it's more alive in their world than ever. They are questioning everything, but you're beyond that stage now. You've risen. You've grown. And they're still stuck in the moment you left them with those unforgettable words. Type Amen to get blessing 555. They've deleted your photos but keep re-downloading them. They say they've moved on, but sleep keeps dragging them backward. Each night brings flashbacks. Your face, your eyes, and especially that sentence. You didn't scream. You didn't cry. You simply said it, and that made it worse. You made them realize they were not in control of your story. Now, they flinch when your name is mentioned. They pause at every notification. You live in their mind rent-free, haunting every hour past midnight. Some people regret their actions. Others regret their silence. This person regrets underestimating the power of your voice. Type Amen to get blessing 747. There are whispers being carried in the wind. Even the universe has felt the shift between you and them. It's not just words, it was a soul-level awakening. They have tried to write to you many times. Then they delete it. The fear of how you'll respond, or not respond, paralyzes them. You weren't being cruel. You were being real. But realness hurts more than lies ever could. You gave them the truth, and they weren't ready. Now they replay that night, those final words, over and over. They imagine alternate endings, ones where you stayed, ones where they answered differently. But imagination doesn't change reality. Type Amen to get blessing 1212. Their body is tired. But their spirit is more restless than ever. This isn't love. This is a reckoning. They lied to themselves for too long. You cracked that lie with one sentence. And now, they can't glue it back together. They are scared of seeing you again, yet they crave it more than anything. They want closure, but they know you already closed that chapter. Every sleepless night, they write imaginary dialogues with you. But you're not responding, not because you're angry, but because you've evolved beyond it. Type Amen to get blessing 888. Archangel Michael says, they will try to reach out soon. But Spirit says not all messages deserve a reply. You have already spoken with truth and grace. The universe is wrapping you in protection. The person who used to drain your energy now feels that same emptiness. The roles have reversed. You have healed from what they did. They are only now beginning to feel the consequences. And the silence you gifted them has become a thunderstorm in their world. Keep your peace. You owe no explanation for standing in your truth. Your healing hurt them because it reminded them of the healing they refused. Type Amen to get blessing 919. They wake up suddenly, breathless, at odd hours. They wonder if you're thinking of them too. But what they feel isn't connection, it's their own conscience catching up. You're no longer on the same frequency. You've outgrown the place they kept you in. Your spirit has transcended, but they're still chained to the past. They scroll your social media secretly, looking for clues. Every time you post, it burns a hole in their chest. You look freer now, and that's what hurts the most. You're no longer broken. You're blooming. And the person who once ignored your pain is now drowning in their own. Type Amen to get blessing 1001. They sit in dark rooms, reminiscing. Wondering if they can undo what was done. But the clock only moves forward now. Archangel Michael says, they were sent into your life for a reason, but not to stay forever. Their presence was a lesson wrapped in longing. And your words were the final exam. Now, they fail to sleep, not because of what they lost, but because they realize what they never truly valued until it slipped through their hands. You are not responsible for their healing. You did your part. They must now learn to face themselves in the stillness that you left behind. Type Amen to get blessing 303. Sometimes they try to call you mentally. But the bond is cut. You did not just speak truth, you shifted timelines. That one sentence built walls around your peace. And they are outside those walls, watching the light they once held turn into something sacred. The room feels colder now. The bed feels bigger, but lonelier. They had you close, and now, even the idea of you feels distant. And yet, even after all this, they still whisper your name into the darkness. Hoping it reaches you. Hoping you feel something. Type Amen to get blessing 111. But your past feelings now. You're in alignment. You've taken that pain and molded it into power. They are no longer losing sleep over you. They are losing sleep over themselves. Your truth revealed their shadows. Now, they can't lie to themselves anymore. And that's the curse you left behind, a blessing disguised as a sentence. That moment you spoke is a spiritual echo. It still rings through their soul like a bell that won't stop. Type Amen to get blessing 606. Archangel Michael says, you were their wake-up call. But they hit snooze too many times. Now, they're awake when the world sleeps. They tried distractions. Parties. People. Pleasures. But nothing soothes the sting of your truth. Each laugh fades into silence. Each touch reminds them of yours. Each attempt to forget deepens the memory. You've become the silence they cannot escape. And now, it's not a sentence they fear, it's the echo of it that has buried into their bones. Type Amen to get blessing 313. They thought time would erase your words. But time has only repeated them. Again. 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 They cry in silence. Not for love lost, but for themselves lost. You showed them who they really are, and they can't unsee it now. They stare at the moon like it holds your answers. They ask the stars for your forgiveness, but the sky stays silent. You are now unreachable. And that kills them more than anything else. Type Amen to get blessing 000. Some lessons come in whispers. Yours came in thunder. And the sound is still shaking their world. Archangel Michael says, rest easy. You are not the villain in this story. You were the truth they begged for, but ran from when it came. Sleep peacefully, child of light. For the one who lost you has only now begun to understand what your silence meant. And while they count sleepless nights, you rise in peace, power, and divine protection. Type Amen to get blessing 717. They never imagined your words would echo this long. But silence after truth is more terrifying than shouting. Every second since you walked away has been a ticking reminder of the moment they lost control. They were used to your softness, your patience. But the version of you that spoke that final sentence wasn't soft, it was awakened. It was divine. Now, they pace their room at night, replaying that look in your eyes, repeating your words in their mind like a mantra of regret. They tried convincing themselves it didn't matter, that you'd return. But the energy shifted, your presence has vanished, and their soul is now empty where your light once lived. Type Amen to get blessing 444. They feel cursed by their own choices. They see your strength, and it terrifies them. They thought they broke you, but they were only breaking themselves. Every time they try to sleep, their heart beats faster. The quiet becomes unbearable. The night becomes their punishment. You are the storm they never predicted. A storm that arrived not to destroy, but to cleanse. And now, their false comfort is gone. They wake with your name on their lips and sleep with it in their mind. But you? You no longer carry theirs. You've replaced pain with power. Type Amen to get blessing 234. They told others they've moved on. But the bags under their eyes speak the truth. They are not sleeping. They are surviving. You might be miles away, but they feel your energy like 1,000 needles on their skin. They can't forget, because forgetting would mean lying again. They regret not valuing you when they had the chance. Now they're left with memories that don't offer comfort, only regret. You didn't leave to teach them a lesson. But life has made you the biggest one they've ever had. And now they are failing that test every night. Type Amen to get blessing 363. Archangel Michael says, your soul has reached higher dimensions. That's why you feel lighter. You've shed their weight. They're still carrying it. They think time will bring you back. But you are not circling around anymore. You're rising, and they're still sinking. They hold their pillow tight, pretending it's you. But the truth is, even if you returned, you wouldn't fit in their arms anymore. You've grown beyond their reach. Now, your name lives in the space between their thoughts and tears. Your voice is the ghost that refuses to be buried. Type Amen to get blessing 1717. You weren't cruel. You were necessary. And what's necessary is often painful. But it's also transformative. They are being transformed now, not by choice, but by consequence. Your silence is the fire they now must walk through. They tried blaming you. But deep inside, they know. You didn't abandon them. You released them. There's a difference. They had a chance to change. You gave them time. But when time ran out, so did your tolerance. Now, they're left clinging to echoes. Type Amen to get blessing 646. Archangel Michael says, this is divine justice. Not revenge. You did not wish them harm. But the universe balanced the scale. You spoke one truth. They are living 1,000 nightmares from it. That's not your burden. That's their awakening. They light candles, hoping for peace. But peace doesn't come from outside. And you were the only peace they knew. They thought silence was a punishment. But now, they understand, it was mercy. And it's the mercy that burns more than anger ever could. Type Amen to get blessing 505. They keep checking your status. Watching your photos. Their heart drops every time they see you smile. Because it's not for them anymore. They want to message you, but their fingers freeze. Their heart races. And the fear of your silence stops them. They think about what they could say to fix it. But deep down, they know there's nothing left to fix. They broke the sacred bond. They didn't lose you in one moment. They lost you every time they made you feel small. And now that you've grown, you no longer fit in the life they offered. Type Amen to get blessing 828. They whisper your name like a prayer. But you are no longer answering. You're connected to higher frequencies now. They tried making you feel replaceable. Now they can't replace you in their thoughts. That's the real price they're paying. Your silence speaks more than their 1,000 apologies ever could. And that's what keeps them tossing and turning. You're not bitter. You're better. And they can't compete with peace. That's why sleep won't come. Peace left with you. Type Amen to get blessing 222. Archangel Michael says, the chapter has closed. But the echo of your voice is still turning pages in their soul. They can't stop reading what you wrote into their spirit. They want closure, but you already gave it, when you walked away without begging. That's when they realized they were not the ones in control. They underestimated your strength. Now they live in the shadow of it. Every dream reminds them of your reality. And as they lose themselves in regret, you're finding yourself in alignment. They are watching you become what they said you'd never be. Type Amen to get blessing 616. They used to sleep peacefully when you were crying. Now they're awake, while you are healing. That's the shift. That's divine correction. You didn't seek revenge. You chose distance. And that distance is louder than any scream. They once told you silence is golden. Now they know, your silence is thunder. They just never expected the sound to last this long. Now, even laughter feels heavy to them. Joy feels distant. All because of one sentence that carried lifetimes of pain and truth. Type Amen to get blessing 787. They carry you in their mind like a tattoo they can't erase. But it's not ink. It's impact. You left a mark too deep to cover. They speak about you like you're a ghost. But you are not gone. You've simply become too powerful to touch. They tell others they're over it. But the sleepless nights betray them. Truth has a way of revealing itself through exhaustion. They are waking up to what you already knew: love without respect is poison. And you chose the antidote. You chose freedom. Type Amen to get blessing 343. They don't sleep because dreams remind them of you. They stay awake so they don't have to face the reality of what they lost. They're scared you'll find someone who loves you better. But that fear isn't about you moving on, it's about them being left behind. You were light in their darkness. And they chose to dim it. Now they sit in a room with no brightness left. They cry silently now, the way you used to. But no one hears them. That's the echo of karma. Type Amen to get blessing 2121. Archangel Michael says, your voice was a sword, but it didn't wound. It freed. It sliced open the truth. And now, it bleeds into every hour of their night. Don't doubt the power of your words. They're still vibrating in their world like an earthquake. You didn't curse them. You awakened them. But not all awakenings are soft. Some shake the soul until it sees. They've seen it now. And the image of what they've done won't let them sleep. Type Amen to get blessing 999. They thought time would make you miss them. But time made you miss yourself more. You found her again, the you before them. And now, the person who couldn't sleep beside you is the one begging sleep to come. But peace has chosen you. Your name has power now. Your silence has honor. And their sleepless nights are the universe reminding them, they had something sacred. But they lost it with a lie. And you ended it with the truth. Type Amen to get blessing 1551. They never imagined one sentence could become a punishment. But now they hear it in their dreams. Over and over like a bell tolling regret. They reach for sleep the way they once reached for you, desperately and too late. Even with eyes closed, their spirit remains restless. The truth you spoke shattered something they'll never rebuild. They believed silence meant weakness. But your silence has become their greatest fear. They no longer fear losing you, they fear living without what you used to bring. Now every night is an echo chamber. The darkness is loud. And your absence is louder. Type Amen to get blessing 911. Their friends ask what's wrong, but they lie. They say it's stress. They say it's work. But the truth is, it's you. It's the version of you that stood tall and said what needed to be said. That version still haunts them. Because they never expected you to awaken like that. They thought you'd beg. They thought you'd cry. But you didn't. You rose in silence, and that is what destroyed them. Now, every mirror reflects a version of them they no longer recognize. Sleep used to bring escape. Now, it brings shame. Type Amen to get blessing 1122. They are living in the aftermath of your awakening. Everything feels dull now. Even joy tastes bitter. They see your face in strangers. Hear your voice in music. But nothing feels close to the real thing anymore. You were the original, and they've realized they can't replace that. They speak your name with caution now, afraid others will sense how deeply they still care. But it's written all over them, the guilt, the weight, the loss. You were the safe space they destroyed. Now they long for shelter in a world where everything reminds them of what they threw away. Type Amen to get blessing 707. Archangel Michael says, they are now facing what you once faced, being unheard. You begged for clarity, honesty, effort. And all you got was confusion. Now they sit in that same confusion, only darker. Because the light, you, is gone. They thought you'd orbit around them. But you took off to a new galaxy. They keep hoping you'll text. Even a single word would bring them comfort. But your peace has taught you silence is a language T. And right now, your silence is writing a story they'll never stop reading in their mind. Type Amen to get blessing 1919. They scroll endlessly at night. Social media. Old chats. Voice notes. Trying to fill the void. But the void is not digital, it's spiritual. They now know what it means to be awake at 3 a.m. and feel the weight of 1,000 unsaid apologies. But they waited too long. Now your heart has moved on. They didn't think you'd heal. They thought you'd return. But healing is not about returning, it's about remembering why you left. They used to watch you cry. Now they cry in silence. And the only difference is, your tears watered your growth. There's flood empty pillows. Type Amen to get blessing 636. They've lit candles hoping for peace. They've meditated. Prayed. Talked to themselves. But the only thing that calms them is a memory of you, and that memory doesn't answer anymore. They feel foolish now. How they took your energy for granted. Your kindness for weakness. Your presence for permanence. But you are no longer their constant. You are a star they can see but never touch. A reminder of what they had and what they lost. They don't just miss you. They miss who they were when you loved them. But that version of you has evolved, and they're stuck in a past you've outgrown. Type Amen to get blessing 2323. They wish they could rewind time. They'd beg. They'd listen. They'd change. But the clock only moves forward now, and you've already crossed the line they never thought you'd reach. The same bed they once shared feels like a grave now. Every inch screams your name. But your energy no longer lingers there. They tried calling someone else your name once, slipped it out by mistake. That's when they knew it was deeper than guilt, it was loss. Real, permanent loss. And they don't know how to live with it. They don't even know how to sleep with it. Type Amen to get blessing 1444. Archangel Michael says, sleep comes easy to the peaceful. But the disturbed carry their own punishment. They laughed at your silence. Now they fear it. They mistook it for nothingness. Now it's the heaviest thing in their soul. They listen to sad songs just to feel closer to you. But you are no longer available in pain. You are walking in light now. They thought closure meant you explaining yourself. But you gave them closure by walking away without asking them to understand. That silence was your final truth. Type Amen to get blessing 929. Now they toss and turn, haunted by what ifs. What if they had responded better? What if they had fought for you? What if they had listened? But the what ifs don't matter anymore. You're not waiting. You're not stuck. You're not asleep, you're alive. They underestimated how far you'd go. How strong you'd become. They thought you'd need them. But you only needed freedom. Now the only one needing anything is them. Needing you. Needing rest. Needing forgiveness. But receiving none. Type Amen to get blessing 818. Their face is pale. Their energy is low. People are starting to notice. You okay? They're asked. And they lie, because the truth is too painful to say aloud. I lost the one person who spoke the truth I needed. They want to say sorry. But they don't know how. The fear of your silence is stronger than the shame of their mistake. They had the key to your heart. But they used it to lock you out instead of letting you in. Now the door is sealed, and they're trapped outside. No apology can match what they lost. No words can compete with the silence you left behind. Type Amen to get blessing 1313. They didn't just lose a person. They lost a soul mirror. A divine reflection. A truth teller. And they know now, they won't find that again. Because what you gave wasn't just love. It was depth. It was real. It was rare. And rare things don't come twice. Rare things don't beg to stay. They wait to be treasured. You waited. You warned. You walked away. And now, they walk alone. Type Amen to get blessing 7171.